Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome to the start of a new thing entirely on my channel. Today we are gonna be, as you can see, we're gonna be solving the New York Times crossword puzzle for Saturday, November the 11th, 2023. This is a new thing for my channel because, if you've seen other things on my channel, it's gonna be pretty much exclusively video games. I'm a gamer. This is a gaming channel, but I figured that I would start this series because, in addition to gaming, one of my biggest hobbies is solving crosswords, and in particular solving the New York Times crossword puzzle, which I've been doing daily for about 5 years now. So I've, I just decided that, let's make this a thing on my channel as well. Let us solve the New York Times crossword puzzle. Now, a couple things to note. So as I mentioned, I've been solving this puzzle for a while, 5 years now, so I have my own tips and tricks. I'm confident going into this puzzle that I'll be able to do it, even though being a Saturday puzzle, it's going to be the most difficult one of the week. I still feel that I'll do well. The other thing that might hamper me on this particular puzzle is that on the day that I'm doing it right after I hung out with a friend of mine, where we had went out for some beers. Specifically, I've had 4 beers and 1 whiskey tonight. So that's the added difficulty, is that I'm going to be attempting to solve a Saturday New York Times crossword puzzle with 4 beers and 1 whiskey weighing me down. But you know what? Even with all of that, maybe it's just the alcohol, maybe it's just I'm that good, but I'm still feeling confident. So you know what? Let's just go into it, and actually, before I go into it, let me talk a bit about how this is gonna work, because it's a different kind of series for this channel. It's a different kind of series for me. And actually, you know what? Let me just grab my water bottle quickly, because you've got to stay hydrated. In fact, let me take a sip right now. So, while I'm solving this puzzle, or, these puzzles in general, because I hope to make this not a daily series, but a recurring series, where we will occasionally solve crosswords. I won't just speed solve it. I'm not a speed solver. I like to take my time. I like to read the clues. I like to notice, the little callbacks, the little um, nuances, the little, you know, the little things that the constructors put into their puzzle that really make the solving experience feel special. I like to notice those things. So I'm not a speed solver, and especially when I'm gonna be doing these videos, I'm gonna not only not speed solve, but I'll also be maybe sharing some of my own techniques. Like, some of them won't be things that I've invented. Like, a lot of them will be pretty obvious techniques that you pick up from solving puzzles. But yeah, I'll be sharing stuff like that, things that I've picked up that have helped me become a better solver over time. With that all said, I think now it's time for us to finally start solving this crossword puzzle, like I mentioned. New York Times, Saturday, November 11th, 2023, by Blake Slonaker. I may be mispronouncing that name. And of course, edited by Will Shorts. Let's go. Alright. Obviously, I like to start in the top left quadrant, like with the first clue across. Snack brand that originated in 1919. I have no idea. I would need some crosses to help me on this. By crosses, I mean some of the other clues. Now, let's see. Big Brother's Superstate in 1984. I know, having read this book but not remembering it clearly, it's either... So East Asia doesn't fit because it's only 7 letters. So it's either Eurasia or Oceania. I think both of those are locales in 1984, and I think it's going to be Oceania because I think this clue has to be annual, which is something I recognize from previous crosswords. So let's go with that for now. A wife for whom... Wife whom Mark Antony deserted for Cleopatra. I don't actually know that either. Fork-like, I'm pretty confident it's going to be tined, because forks have tines. I think this has to be Hagrid, right? I'm not a huge Harry Potter. I should be reading the clues as well. So this clue is Keeper of the Keys and Grounds at Hogwarts. I think has to be Hagrid. Into space. So this clue is it might be done into space. And into space is in quotation marks. Excuse me. So basically, this answer has to work if inserted into those quotation marks. It has to work as a phrase. Like, it's hard to explain, but basically the word or words that we generate in this answer has to work with the into space part of this clue. And I think the answer here is going to be staring into space. It might be something else, but for now, let's just go with that and let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Steamy scene. Well, if we are correct about the last 3 letters, then I'm thinking... Okay, well, obviously this is Charles Barkley. And I was gonna say, with the last 3 letters, ATH, Bath seems like a likely ending for this particular answer, you know, because baths can be steamy as well. And also, do we have any inroads into... Well, okay. So this clue brought forth is in the past tense, and as such is likely to end with ed. Not all clues, not all past tense verbs in English end that way, but most for now, leave it like that. Brought forth. That's kind of vague. And also ones with strong appetites. Have I spelled Barkley wrong? Oh, actually, I think one across might be hostess. And if that's the case, safety often, I think this might be a sports clue. I think it might be tackler. I think that's a I think that's a thing that happens in a. Okay. Alright, I think this is gonna be Octavia. And I think this is gonna be sired. I'm gonna be going quickly through some of these because I feel like I'm on a bit of a roll. And appraisal, the ABBR stands for abbreviation. So the answer we're looking for here is gonna be something that is an abbreviation for appraisal. And I think here it's gonna be eval, which is short for evaluation. And hot bath in this case is going to be the steamy scene. Alright, I guess that works. And that means this is likely to be T-cart. Oh, T-cart. And that means the ones with strong appetites are likely to be satyrs. Figures from Greek mythology that are just famously always, you know, indulging in all sorts of things. So good for them. And also, we've likely gotten this corner taken care of now. Now we need to make... excuse me, now we need to make inroads into other parts of this grid. Can't stomach is likely to be... So can't stomach means it's in the present tense, which means it's likely to end in S. And one thing I check is, because this is also ending in the end of another clue, like, is this also something that is likely to end in S? So this is something that is plural. So both of these in conjunction are telling me that this is likely to be an S. And can't stomach, starting with the D, could be detests. No, it couldn't, because that doesn't fit. Let's leave that open for now. Put on a pedestal could also be, it could be idolized. No, it couldn't, because then that would make this a Z. Let's hold on to that for the moment. Must. The love blank of W.E.B. Du Bois. Okay, so we're gonna pause this video for a brief cameo from future Ali over here. This is me after having woken up the morning after I recorded the previous segment. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is because I have learned that I was mispronouncing this person's name. It's actually W.E.B. Du Bois. And in fact, there's going to be a later clue in this crossword itself, which was about silent S's, which if I had read and understood that clue properly, I would have realized, you know, that something was off about the way I was pronouncing it. But yeah, I totally missed it. You know what? I don't think too many people could blame me, given how inebriated I was while solving the puzzle. So you know what? It's okay. You know, you learn new things every day, especially from solving crossword puzzles, which is another reason why I like them. But yes, I just wanted to share that it's actually pronounced W-E-B Du Bois, and sadly, because I didn't learn this until afterwards, I will continue to mispronounce this name for the remainder of this puzzle once we get back to present Ali, past Ali, who even knows how time works anymore. But yes, when we resume the video, you'll have to bear with me pronouncing the name incorrectly. So I just wanted to make a note of that. But yes, back to the video. What? A recent novel? Alright. Be interested to learn what that is, because I don't know about this book. Alright, so clearly not really making a lot of headway here. Let's move on to this part of the grid. Medical research of a sort. Vague. Very vague. Tip at hair salon. The question mark here means that the answer is gonna be kind of like a pun or a joke or some play on words once you end up solving it. But I don't see it, not at least with just the one letter. We would need more. Flipped Burns at the stake? It could be Chars, maybe, or Sears. Third eye users. This might be Sears, like Seers. This could be Chars. Mountebanks. I used to know what this word meant, but I've forgotten. Torments. Likely to end in S. Oh, I think remove from a stock exchange is delist, which I just know from vague following of financial news. And if this is T, then I think this is gonna be atom ant. Physical feature of the god Pan, I think is gonna be a goatee. Oh, come on. Goatee, and this means this is likely to be Sears. Third eye users, I think that's just a mystical term referring to hidden spiritual knowledge. How knights jousted typically is likely to be in armor. Flipped in a way. I still don't see that. I mean, I put the R because it's either Sears or Chars. Torments? Don't see that yet. New Testament folk, I think is gonna be Gentiles? I'm not actually sure how you pronounce that. I'll write that for now. Roger... Physics Nobelist known for tilings. Don't know that either. Pooh's bestie. Okay, this has got to be Tigger, right? Does that help me? Oh, this is obviously going to be something drug. Medical research, like drug something. Drug testing, drug trials, drug... What? Drug... Is... Filled in. Am I? Did I jump the gun on this? Let's hold on. Let's hold on to that. Tip at a hair salon. Curious. I'm feeling less confident about this. So let's maybe go down here. Some commercial come-ons. Likely to end in S. Oh, I said an S. Leave high and dry, I think, has got to be strand. And then something ists. Mountebanks or something ists. Filled in. Is this not Tigger? It's gotta be, right? Because who else is there? There's there's Tigger, there's Eeyore. And what's the other one called? I'm like, it's gotta be, right? Anyway, let's maybe take a look at this part of the grid. Narcolepsy medicine, is it Ritalin? Nah, I don't think so. Web browser. Occasion for cheek swabs, I think it's gonna be DNA test. Hang on, could this be so blank for now, all in quotes, means the answer has to work similar to what we were looking at with which one was it? This one. It might be done into space, so staring into space, like it has to work with those. Similar to that, this word has to work with for now somehow. And I'm gonna go with ta-ta for now. I'm not gonna go with I'm actually gonna go with just on a hunch. I'm gonna go with that, and that will mean that I'm gonna go with siren for storm warning. Coffee first cultivated in Yemen. So server unit is likely to be something bit, megabit, gigabit. This is gonna be right. Coffee. It's gotta be that. And web browser is gonna be netizen, even though that's not a word that anybody uses in actual speech these days, but it shows up in crosswords every now and again. I don't mind though. I don't mind. Mulligans are gonna be redos. And like the S in debris, but not in Dubois, it's gonna be a sonant, which means not pronounced, I think. Bulletin board material has got to be notices. think. Fantasy sports format. I don't know, but it's not likely to be G because go to, if it was this, they would have clued it differently. So I think this is likely to be terabit, and then this eyepiece, meaning not an eyepiece in the sense of some vision assisting device, but rather literally a piece of the eye, is likely to be a retina. All right. Young Frankenstein player. I think this is Gene Wilder. Filled in. Still no closer to answering that. Site of Chicago's Centennial. I have no idea about this. But does this help us with this? I think the targets for sensors are gonna be dirty words. It fits. Does this help? Some commercial commands. Pot? I mean, if we're talking about that kind of pot, then maybe this works, but then I don't know if pedestals works like that. The love blank of W. This is the one thing that I'm most curious about in this crossword so far, but we'll come back to that. Oh, can't stomach could be despises, and then how does that help us? 6 on could be sets at, filled in, could be updated, as in you filled someone in on what's going on, you've updated them on what's going on. Alright, now then, let's tip. Okay, this is kind of obscure, but I think tip at a hair salon might be a split end. I guess literally, yes, it is the tip. Oh, this is Piglet. It was the other one that I couldn't remember at the time. It was the other one. And this is going to be Roger Penrose, obviously. Flipped, in a way, is going to be resold. Drug. Oh, I filled this in wrong. This is going to be drug trials. Torments is going to be Harry's. And this is going to be Char's. Mountebanks are con artists. Some commercial commands are going to be rebates. Quit early, so to speak. Bail on. Hang on. Rudolph's feature obviously is going to be a red nose. Star word before star or after good evening? Evening star? I don't know if that's a thing, but good evening is definitely a phrase. Put on a pedestal. Okay, this is a stealth, tense change. So put could be either in the present tense or in the past tense. In this case, It's the past tense. Quit early is going to be bailed. Sight of... Still don't know what this is. Bringer of sleep and dreams. Oh, it's going to be... Sandman. Put on a pedestal is going to be admired. Pot is going to be... Grass? Yeah, okay, that works. Pedestals could be stands. Must, therefore, would be need to, and the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois is going to be what finishes this. And is this going to be... Yes, it is. We did it. I mean, well, I did it, you know. Let's be clear about what happened here. I solved this puzzle entirely by myself. You know, with your moral support, admittedly. So, you know, you guys do, you know, get some of the credit, but, you know, it was you've got to admit, it was tough. And I wasn't joking. I literally have had 4 beers tonight and 1 whiskey. And with that in mind, and with the fact that I was commentating as I was solving 23-27 for a Saturday, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's admire our puzzle for a bit. So this is another thing that I'm going to do with these puzzles is I'm going to, after solving it, take a look at what the tough clues were, what my favorite answers slash, you know, little, like, you know, nuances, little features of the puzzle, that kind of thing. So, the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, it's apparently a recent novel, so that's something I'm gonna look up. Maybe even get on Amazon. We'll see. But other than that, the Penrose tile, I'm glad I remembered that. This top left part of the puzzle, I'm surprised that looking at it in retrospect, it had some tough clues. Like anneal is... It shows up in Crosswords all the time, but every time it shows up, I'm always hesitant. Just because it's a weird thing to fill in. Especially because tackler is a bit of an awkward word. And I wasn't sure about this one either. It was a guess. Could have easily been the the other thing I said. Hot bath as well. Very specific phrase. So yeah, we got lucky in the, you know, smooth start that we had here. And then the thing that like these this part of the grid stumped me for quite a while because I had no clue what this was. I initially put a wrong answer for this, which slowed me down quite a bit. But then once we got the right answer, you know, everything fell into place. My favorite clue, I think. Often, my favorite clues tend to be some of the question mark clues. Because, like, I really appreciate good wordplay. So, like, a netizen, okay, being, like, just someone who uses the internet, I guess. You would be someone who browses on the web. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. That's decent when it comes to wordplay, but split end for tip at a hair salon. initially I was like, oh, what are you even talking about? But then the more I thought about it, okay, I'm like, oh yeah, it literally makes sense. And then I thought about it some more. I'm like, yeah, that it is like it is the tip of the hair, and you deal with that at a hair salon, and it it checks all the boxes. I think this might be my favorite clue slash answer pairing. Other than that, Gene, I'm glad I remembered this. I have actually watched Young Frank, like great movie, hilarious. And even though this was a Saturday, which is supposed to be tough, I think some things were easy for me, like Rudolph. That was a that was one that I got pretty handily. Um, uh, other than that, there was I mean, there were some guesses that I took, like staring into space, which ended up being correct. So, like on the whole, yeah, I'd say a solid Saturday. A good effort by me, and of course, a good effort by Blake Slonecker, by Blake. Let's just call you Blake. Good job, Blake. You've made a good puzzle, and I think this is a more than worthy start to my crossword journey on YouTube. Now, before I end this video, I should mention what the future is going to be like for this series. And what I'm envisioning is I will do at least one of these a week. And the one that I will choose will rotate between Saturday, Sunday, and Thursday. Saturday because it has the toughest clues, the toughest clue difficulty of all the weekly puzzles. Sunday because it's the biggest, and Sundays often have special themes as well. And Thursdays because they are often special puzzles with special tricks in them that you need to figure out before you're able to solve them. So I think, yeah, that's the mindset that I'm going into this with. That we'll focus our attention in terms of this series on those either difficult or tricky puzzles, and we'll handle it that way. But yes, that is going to be all for this one. Like I said, it's a very different kind of thing in terms of what I usually do on my channel. But you know what? I hope you enjoy it. I hope there are people out there who are into this kind of thing. Regardless, I do intend to do these occasionally, and you know what? If you're into it, you're into it. If not, that's okay too. But regardless, if you did take the time to watch this video, I just want to say thank you. I hope you had a great time, and I hope you'll join me for the next one as well. And until then, take care.